So, Nenpact. You just spent a whole $60 on this game and you've decided to learn how to play. First of all, join the Nenpact Discord server. This is where you will get the chance to fight the most active player base this game has to offer. I can't understate how much time it will take you to find a match on ranked. And even if you do, chances are it's going to be a little more laggy than your average game. Nenpact is all about hyper-offensive neutral, filling up the screen with so much hitboxes the opponent has no choice but to either hold back or get hit. However, unlike many Kusoge fighting games, what makes Nenpact unique is its defensive mechanics, one of which being an instantaneous block everything button which seconds has both a push block and a stance you can do armor normals out of. Here is a visual guide for what we call numpad notation, which helps us specify directional inputs. This is the control scheme that Nenpact uses. All of these buttons are mandatory for playing, and you will see their icons used throughout this tutorial to indicate inputs. Upon starting the game, you will notice that the game has two preset button loadouts. Type A is for standard game controllers, while Type B is for an arcade stick, but we must make some configurations to whatever layout you are using. This rush button, while held down, makes your character do an automated combo upon landing a hit with a normal and mashing the same button. While recommended for casual players, if you want to really get good at this game, it's essential that you unbind the rush button as the combos it does are heavily unoptimized. With our extra button freed up, you can bind a button combination which you can configure down here to simulate a wide variety of two button inputs. Feel free to customize your button layout however you please. There are 3 buttons for attacking. Each character has 3 standing attacks done by pressing any of these buttons while standing, 3 crouching attacks where you press any of the 3 buttons while crouching, and jumping while pressing any of the 3 attack buttons will do an air normal. Some characters have more normals, which we like to call command normals. You can string normals together so long as they make contact with the enemy, however they must be done in advancing order. The order goes light, medium, heavy. If you try to go backwards, your character will not string the button, with the exception being characters that have a reverse beat mechanic. You can also string standing normals into crouching normals, but you cannot string crouching normals into standing normals. The game has reverse priority, so if you buffer all 3 buttons at the same time, light will come out. Some characters are limited to how many buttons they can chain in a string. Nenpact doesn't have quarter circle motions, but instead a 1-button special similar to Smash Bros. Simply press the arts button while inputting any direction to do your character's designated special move, which you can look at in the move list. Not every character has the same amount of special moves, but that doesn't necessarily mean having less moves makes you a bad character, as one move can fill a variety of options. Having armor on any move in this game is a gift from God. If your character has armor on an attack, that means that during a set period of the move, the character will not take stun from mid attacks and high attacks, but will still be interrupted by low attacks. The amount of hits that a character's move has can be found in the move list. Strong characters in this game have armor on their strongest attacks, allowing them to play ultra ignorant in the face of an opponent's neutral. Holding the Nen button while on the ground engulfs your character in an aura, forcing you to remain stationary until the button is released, which puts you in a small amount of end lag which you can block in. Nen stance slowly drains your meter. It can be cancelled for blocking, but it takes half a bar of meter to do so. While your aura is out, you automatically block every attack, but in turn you take full damage from attacks you defend against. Attacks you block with Nen stance push the opponent away, making block strings hard to construct without high range normals. This stance has 2 follow-ups done by pressing 5N or 2N during the end lag of a Nen stance, with both having armor properties that can be comboed off of. The power of these Nen stance follow-ups varies between characters, so use them with your character's Nenpact range in mind. During either Nen stance or its Nenpact follow-ups, you can be thrown and are unable to tech, so while this is a powerful tool you should be using, by no means is it a get out of jail free card. Pressing net in the air acts as another air normal for a character to use. Pressing 6H, 4H, or dashing initiates a grab which activates frame 1, meaning you throw the moment you press the button. However, you must be touching the opponent before you do a throw. You can tech a throw by inputting your own throw a few frames after being thrown, but since throw is unreactable, it's much better to look for signs that an opponent is going for a throw. For example, if you are currently being locked down by an assist and the opponent is standing still next to you, there's a good chance that they are going to try to throw, so you would try throwing as soon as you exit block stun to tech the throw. You cannot combo off of throw mid-screen without assists, but you can combo in the corner, making Nen stancing far riskier while cornered. You can also throw in the air, but do mind that when you do an air throw in the corner, it triggers a wall bounce. Pressing assist 1 or assist 2 calls your teammate to do an attack, with 1 calling the character to the bottom left of your health bar, and 2 calling the character to the right. You can change your assist attack depending on what direction you hold when pressing the button. The 3 different assists you can do are neutral assist, done by holding 5 or 8 at the time of the input, a side assist, done by holding 4, 7, 6, or 9 at the time of the input. Down assist is done by holding 1, 2, or 3 at the time of the input. Assists are not affected by Nen stance push block, thus they are a great way to extend block streams and get in during neutral. Be careful though, as if the assist is hit, they will never drop out of combos until the assist combo timer ends. Said combos will deal increased damage as well as having decreased scaling, and assists will always be put into hard knockdown after touching the ground, which leads to very long combos. 1. After calling an assist, a cooldown is placed on the assist indicated by the assist icon on the top of the screen. When the character's icon is gray, you are unable to call the assist and must wait until the icon lights up. 2. If an assist is used in the middle of a combo, the assist cooldown will not restore itself until the opponent drops out of the combo, indicated by the combo counter disappearing. This functions the same if an assist attack is interrupted by an active tag, or if a delayed hyper combo is used in the middle of a combo. If the character you wish to call an assist with is dead, you cannot use their assist. 4. You cannot use assist in the middle of an arts move. 5. You cannot use the assist in the middle of a super move. 6. You cannot use assist while holding Nen stance. 7. You cannot call 2 assists at the same time. And finally, 8. You cannot use assist while in the middle of hit stun, block stun, super freeze, a cinematic, or incoming. After calling an assist, pressing the assist button again will initiate an active tag, where you will instantly swap from your point character to the called assist character whilst the point character continues any actions they are doing prior to the swap, including any previously buffered inputs. Being able to freely switch from an assist call that isn't affected by push block gives this game its infamous assist-focused hyper-offensive nature. Pressing 6 plus assist 1 or assist 2 while blocking will immediately tag out your point character with invincibility. This leaves you actionable and is very useful for punishes and stealing your turn back on defense. Pressing any 2 attack buttons at the same time, or inputting forward twice, results in a dash. Holding backwards while pressing 2 attack buttons, or inputting back twice, results in a backdash. Dashing is this game's fastest movement tool, as there are exploits that exist to make you move even faster on the ground. A segment dedicated to these techniques can be found at the end of this video. If you input a dash in the air, most characters can do an air dash. While lacking in speed compared to the ground version, this is still a very important tool as you will have more control over where you land after jumping, and since you can carry the air dash's momentum until you touch the ground, you can hold back after the dash to advance forward while making sure you block any anti-airs. Getting hit. including chip damage and assist getting hit, fills up a bar right next to your super meter. Pressing L plus N while this bar has any percentage of the meter filled will instantly reset whatever action the user is doing, halting all momentum along with it. Using quick gear also uses your gear level meter. At a full bar of gear meter, you get 10 seconds of a buff that increases your damage and movement speed depending on your gear level, and making it so you don't take chip damage. However, this buff goes away when you are hit, but you can start building back your meter instantly, so don't hesitate to spend quick gear at any chance you get. This mechanic can be used during any non-cinematic attack, so it's very useful for extending blockstring pressured combos. When you start a match, your overgear is already filled, as indicated by the big Overgear text on the side of your super bar. By pressing H plus N, a big bubble surrounds you, and you enter the same enhanced state as you would if you popped quick gear. The activation bubble of Overgear will launch opponents not holding block, force opponents to block if they're holding back, but will do nothing if the opponent is in the middle of an attack. Overgear can be used during any attack, and the only situation you can't use it is when you have already used it once or your character is in hit stun or coming in on incoming. When any character takes damage, excluding Kurapika's Emperor times life drainage, they fill a square-shaped meter next to the Overgear text. In the middle of the meter, a number is shown which indicates what gear level you are at, which is also indicated by the color of the meter. You start out at gear level 1. At 880 damage taken, you get level 2. At 1760 damage taken, you get level 3. You gain meter at the same rate, being about half full when you get level 2, and entirely full when you get level 3 if you did not use quick gear for the entirety of the match. Overgear and quick gear can be stacked, multiplying the percentage buffs with each other, letting anybody dish out insane damage. This is rarely seen in actual games though, since quick gear is such a vital tool for neutral and combos, you wouldn't want to hold on to it to get the increased damage and movement speed. Super moves cost 1, 2, or 3 bars to use. You start the game out with 1 bar of meter, and every time you deal or receive damage, your meter fills up. With 3 characters alive, you can have a maximum of 3 bars of meter. With 2 characters alive, you get a maximum of 4, and with 1 alive, you get access to 5 whole bars. To make this more easily achievable, every time one of your characters die, you receive 1 bar of meter. After using a super, inputting forward plus assist 1 or assist 2 will do what's called a snapback, which switches the opponent's characters depending on what assist button you press. Pressing assist 1 or assist 2 plus N switches characters, giving the point character invincibility, and does the assist character's level 1 super. The super used will always be the neutral super. Switch art is also usable during another character's super. Hit stun scaling is based off a timer that starts whenever your first move lands. This timer speeds up if the opponent is launched. A wall bounce or ground bounce is used, or a throw is the combo starter. Hit stun scaling serves to prevent infinite combos by slowly making all moves deal less hit stun the longer a combo goes on for. Damage scaling is based off of the number of hits you perform in a combo, maxing out at around 20 hits, unless you start the combo off a guard break or a throw, which instantly maxes out damage scaling. Damage scaling serves to reduce the damage of combos by making each hit deal less and less damage the longer the combo goes on for. You get 1 stagger, 1 wall bounce, and 1 ground bounce per combo. However, some moves which cause a ground bounce and some moves which cause a wall bounce can trigger more than 1 ground bounce or wall bounce per combo, which is stated in the character's move list. Finally, if you land a counter hit that launches the opponent into the air, the counter hit move will have infinite hit stun, meaning the opponent will not flip out until they touch the ground. During a dash, you cannot input another dash until the first dash's animation is over. However, since dashes are cancelable into crouch, repeatedly dashing Crouching and uncrouching lets you move around much faster. Plink dashing follows a similar concept to wave dashing in canceling a dash into a separate action to cancel into another dash, but cuts on the downtime of wave dashing. If you are playing on a standard game controller, setting a button combination to a dash input will make this way easier on you. First, input a dash as you normally would, then press any normal plus a dash input, but make sure you press dash immediately after you input the normal, rather than at the same time. This is way harder than it sounds, as you have about a 2-frame window to cancel the startup of a normal into a dash, so just remember that practice makes perfect. Similar to Plink dashing, Plink stancing abuses the window of leniency the developers gave for 2 button inputs. However, instead of using dash, this technique is centered around the Nenpact follow-up of Nen stance. Do a Nenpact as you normally would, but on your second press of N, input L slightly after to get quick gear, which lets you act way faster after Nen stance, so long as you have quick gear. This is convenient and easy to use since if anyone hits your Nen stance, you take full damage as well as getting the quick gear necessary for this trick. The second application of this technique is done the same way, but instead of inputting L after the Nen press, we input arts to cancel the Nen stance into a super. This is useful for characters with installs since you would be able to act instantly out of your super. And in general, this is useful for characters with Nenpacts that are a little short on range like Gon or Phaeton.